Okay, thank you. Thanks, everybody. And once again, I just want to say a special thank you to everybody. I had so many wonderful messages for my birthday, and it was really fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy all of you. So thank you so much. I love you. I want to start off tonight by doing a reading from the language of letting go, since we'll be doing step 2 and step 3 tonight. I picked a reading from the language of letting go in step 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. We come to believe in a better life through the powerful gift of other people, hearing them, seeing them, watching the gift of recovery at work in their lives. There is a power greater than ourselves. There is real hope now that things can and will be different and better for us in our life. We are not a do-it-ourselves program. We do not have to exert willpower to change. Not have to force our recovery to happen, not have to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps so that we believe there is a power greater than ourselves, one who will get the job done in our life. This power will do for us what your greatest and most diligent efforts could not accomplish. A higher power will restore us to a sane and beneficial life. All we have to do is believe. Look, watch, see the people around you, see the healing they have found, and discover your own faith, your own belief, and your own healing. Today, regardless of my circumstances, I will believe to the best of my ability that a power greater than myself can and will restore me to a peaceful, sane way of living. That I will relax and let the higher power do that. I wanted to read that because I wanted to basically kind of share with you tonight. And we're going to be talking about steps 2 and 3. And this is part of our lecture series on the spiritual journey through the steps. I began last week talking about step 1, and I mentioned 3 basic words in step 1 that are really important. The word surrender, the word acceptance, and the word powerlessness. We realize the fact that God gives us a lot of gifts in this program, and yet being able to come to an acceptance of the reality of what's going on in our life is one of the most powerful and beautiful gifts, because so many things can render us powerless, and yet we have to be able to face them and deal with them. In the second and third step, we take the program a little bit differently. You always hear me talk about the 3-legged stool. And the 3-legged stool are the 3 legs that hold up our whole entire recovery program. They are steps 1, 2, and 3. The first 3 steps are the foundation steps. They set the groundwork for our recovery. They're basic, they work, and they're very simple. But without the groundwork, the rest of the program doesn't function. And so we need these 3 steps to take us on our journey. The most important part of these 3 steps is, once again, the word we, because we got to do this together, not by ourselves. Every time we try to do things by ourselves, it doesn't work. And so recovery is a gift of family. You heard the phrase, it takes a community to raise a child. It takes a community to bring us into a healthy sense of recovery. I love this so much because the founders understood this. They understood the fact that there are no heroes, that all of us basically are interconnected to one another. We learn from each other's stories, as I mentioned last week. We learn from what I call the human library. Each of us has a story. Your story is the greatest story on the face of the earth. And we get to share that story with one another. We learn from each other's experiences and each other's stories. And to me, that is the greatest learning tool and the greatest library on the face of this earth. Because the greatest experiences we have are our own. And each one of us is unique. Each one of us is special. I have learned over the years, so much of my growing, so much of my learning has come from my interaction with some very beautiful and very special people. People I met both in these rooms tonight, in the rooms of recovery, over the course of my own journey. And a lot of gratitude and a lot of love went together with that. In the second step, we come to believe. It says, we come to believe in a power greater than ourselves that will restore us to sanity. And I kind of laughed when I first heard that step, because I asked myself, when was I ever sane? Then I realized it. The moment of my birth, when I came into this world, is the time I was sane in my life. I was a gentle little child. And then I went into the world and I found out what dysfunctionality really is all about. And then I got caught up in all the craziness of the world. And I began to experience my own dysfunctionality and my own insanity. I know this step is beautiful because it's a step that teaches me that I can't do it by myself. I have to come to believe that there is something greater than me, a higher power, a higher spirit, a higher presence, something that is guiding. I have to be open to the guidance, but above all, to learn the secret to the second step is be able to ask the word and to say a word, to ask for help, to ask for guidance. The old timers put it very beautifully, and I still love the old timers because they used to really start off talking about the second step by using the word how. Here's how you do it. HOW. Honesty, openness, and willingness. Honesty, they taught me over and over again, is the gift of a higher power. The more I can be honest with myself, but I need to learn honesty from my interaction with others. And my growth comes from my interaction with others. And so I got to be as honest as I can be wherever I'm at in my life today. But remember, honesty has to be tempered with love. Brutal honesty will destroy you. The beautiful gift is to do everything we do in life to the power of healing and love. And so I've learned the importance of being as honest as I can be. That's why I know I'll never be totally honest, because as I grow and learn, hopefully I can become more honest. But that's a little bit at a time. It's part of the process we go through. Open, to be open to new things, new directions, to be open to change, to have an open mind, and never to be done. I don't want to be done. And that's why I know why I love this program so much, because it's something that's always in process. The steps are not a course. They're a way of life. So I realize every day I got to be able to ask the higher power to be my guide and be my strength and help me on my journey. Now I've learned in the morning when I say my prayers, get on my knees, my nickname for God, I call God my boss. I always say in the morning, hey boss, you're the boss, you're the employer, I'm the employee. So whatever you got in store for me today, bring it on. I'll do the best I can do. If I screw it up, I'll do the best I can with that too. And so I realized today I'm only an employee. He's driving the car, he's in charge. I have to learn how not to be a backseat driver. I'm not in charge. I love this beautiful step because it teaches me, and so does the third step, to let go of control. Most of us in addiction and most of us in our recovery have a disease. It's called the illusion of control. We think we're in control when we're not in control. And control, it can be very destructive. So I've learned it's not important. What's important is to be able to ask for help, ask for guidance, and have the willingness to do that. I love the word willingness because the thing that gets me in trouble all the time is something called willpower. I actually think I can control. Willpower is control power. Willingness and willing is considered recovery power. So I have to be honest, open, and willing to be able to look at life and learn from the situations around me. Because I truly believe if you ask for help every day, and the old timers put it very beautifully, they used to say, every morning, get on your knees, ask for help, and please stop trying to figure out who you're asking. It's not important. The important thing is to ask. The Bible even says that, seeking you shall find, knocking it shall be open to you. It's all about a beautiful word called faith. You come to believe and have a sense of faith, a sense of belief, and you can actually move mountains with it. You know, I relate to this very much when I connect with Starting Point. I connect with things that go on the journey in my own life. Just to share one quick story, when I started Starting Point 43 years ago over in South Philadelphia, we had an old dilapidated house. You know, we had 2 windows missing, part of a roof missing. We had tarps over everything. We had no furniture. We had 6 guys that came off the street. And of course, we had a fumigate a few visitors and get them out of the house when we started. And a gentleman came to our front door because I really believed in what we were doing, that something would happen. And faith brings things into your life. I answered the door. It was a gentleman, and he said, I heard what you're doing down here. I was a priest at the time, and he said, listen, I'm going to give you $10,000 to fix the house up, to get your beds and get your furniture and get started. But tell nobody where it came from. I'm giving back from my own recovery. And I have learned over the years, I tell Loretta this, my board of directors and everybody else, don't worry. Everything will always work out. If you have faith and you believe, if you do the work you're supposed to do, everything else will come to you, but it will come when it's supposed to come. And I've learned patience is such a gift of recovery. And so I've learned from that second step to be able to realize, to be able to know, if I come to believe, my higher power will bring sanity into my life. Slowly but surely, I may have to work for it. I got to do the footwork, but I have to learn, if you're going to ask for help, then you better listen to the messengers. Because I truly believe the higher power sends messengers into our life. And that's why the steps are so important, because we're taught in these steps, if I can accept the reality of who I am, have a sense of faith and belief, and be open to it, then the journey will take me where I'm supposed to go. The old timers also had a beautiful saying, because a lot of times people had a hard time with the word God, because they may have gone through some bad experiences and stuff to that effect. They used to say, that's okay, just relax. They had a name for everything. Their definition of God was good, orderly direction. Just be open to direction, be open to guidance, be open to things in your life, and everything will come your way. And it's a simple little thing in life. But they used to say, the secret to learning about the higher power is experiencing something called the Higher Power Club. They used to call it the 4-H Club, the 4 H's, the 4 higher powers. And they would take the second step and say, came to believe that I have the power to become honest, humble, have a sense of humor, and be able to heal. I'll be restored to sanity. I used to love the way they looked at things. They were simple, they were basic. And I'm learning over and over again that faith will teach me that honesty works. Is it hard? Yeah. And sometimes we got to struggle through it to be as honest as we can be, but to do it in a positive way so we can learn and grow from our experiences. I've told you this so many times because I have to tell myself this every day. Every experience I've gone through in my life, no matter what it is a teachable moment. Even the negative things, if I can face them, embrace them, learn from them, and grow from them, they will become my teacher, and I can learn from them. That is the secret to growth in this program. I also can realize humility is such a powerful thing. Humility simply means, once again, to be open and to listen, learn from the people around you. And I have had so many beautiful teachers in my life. I can go back to the early years, guys like Norm and guys like Ralph and guys like the little guys that taught me so much, that held my hand and got me started and brought me to different places. Jack, I can name after name after name, all these beautiful people that walked alongside of me. Norm, I'll never forget taking me my first meeting in Center City, Philadelphia, at the mustard seed. And Norm used to say to me, you always remember the mustard seed, that little seed. It's going to grow into something gigantic. Might be ugly, but it'll still be beautiful. He used to always call ugly as beautiful. I got a kick out of him with that. And he said, don't worry, Vince. You plant the seed, and in time, the seed will grow. But it's got to grow a little bit at a time. He used to always say, growth takes place just that much. That's enough each day. Don't do too much. Take your time. And if you just grow a little bit today, you made progress. That's all that counts. And over time, it works. He always equated it to a seed planted in the ground. It takes time for it to grow and become something beautiful. Just like us. We're almost like individuals that are so special and so beautiful. The higher power has helped us and guided us. And if we ask for God's help, we ask for the higher power's help, we're open to it. And basically, we'll also learn the other gift of the higher power, and that is to have a sense of humor. You know, come on, take some time to laugh at yourself every once in a while, because we are funny, let's face it. Look at some of the crap we did in our life. Good God, you got to have a sense of humor to get through that, right, Carol? It's just totally amazing when you come right down to it. And the sense of humor is so important. Even days when things are bad, you got to learn to laugh. Always remember my good friend, Dr. Johnson, who was a psychiatrist at Charter Fairmont when I was working in the drug and alcohol program there. And he had such a sense of humor, such a character. He had so much fun. And he used to always laugh at everything. He'd say, you know, the guys would come in, they have problems. He'd say, okay, let's look at your problems. But remember, if you wake up in the morning, you're having some problems. At 12 o'clock, they get worse. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, go sit in the corner and laugh. Laughter is great therapy, even though it's not funny. That's okay. It's better than going to a psychiatric hospital, because those places are crazy, he used to say. You don't want to go there. He said, because there you gotta, you gotta use that insurance card, you gotta pay money. He says it's cheaper to laugh. He always had that great sense of humor with people, and people enjoyed being around him. And I know it's important for us to realize to have a sense of humor. We all do insane things. We do crazy stuff. We make all kinds of mistakes. Isn't it wonderful to be human? And our humanity is part of our humanness. It's part of our humor. It's part of looking at life. You know, we go through changes. We go through different things. We don't stay the same. And so healing is a big part of the process of life. And healing means to look at things, to face them, to learn from them, to grow from them. These steps are getting us ready for that, ready for the journey, ready to move forward. And it feels right into step 3. I want to talk about step 3, but I want to do this because my favorite prayer, I say it every morning, is my 3rd step prayer. I just like to share it with you, because it kind of feeds right into what I want to talk about today. God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those that would help of your power, your love, and your way of life. May I do your will always. Amen. That 3rd step prayer is so special and so beautiful. It opens the door to the 3rd step. The 3rd step is so beautiful. It says, make a decision to turn your will and your life over the care of a God as God that we understand, a God of our understanding. I love the 3rd step because it tells me to turn myself over to the care of a God of my understanding. I am so glad they put that into the steps, because each of us is different. Each of us has to find what works for us. I don't debate anymore. I quit the debating society a long time ago. Whatever works. People use the Bible, they use the Torah, they can use anything, the big book, anything. I know people that said to me, they pray to the big book every day. It keeps them going. I said, great, whatever works. The secret is to ask for help, ask for guidance, ask for direction. And it's not important because this is a program, a spiritual program of growth, of learning about ourselves. I always reflect back when I look at the history of AA and the beginnings of this program. And, the 2 founders, Bill W. and Dr. Bob. Bill W. was a little eccentric. He got out of control every once in a while. It was up to Bill. He would have made this into kind of a religious program. He probably wanted to become the Oxford movement. But then came along this character named Dr. Bob. Dr. Bob was quiet. He was kind of shy, but he also had this wonderful way of balancing out Bill. Isn't that how God brings people together with that balance? And I'll never forget Dr. Bob. I consider him so precious because he said to Bill, remember, this is a spiritual program, not a religious program. The doors are open to everybody, everywhere, every place, no matter what. And he was the one that pushed for that phrase in the 3rd step, God as I understand God. The beautiful concept. It's so simple and so basic, and that's why I love these principles. Because in that third step, I'm learning to realize the fact that I can learn so many things from so many different directions. It is to have that open mind again. People always ask me, since I was a priest for 20 years, they always say, Vince, are you still Catholic? I say sometimes. Sometimes I'm Jewish, sometimes I'm Buddhist, sometimes I'm Muslim. I can learn something from everybody, everywhere, every place. It doesn't make a difference. See, it's not about labels. It's about what you believe on the inside of you. It's your connection to something greater than you. It's your connection to a higher presence. It's your connection to realize the fact there's something out there guiding us and showing us and allowing us to go. That's what faith really is all about. But faith also involves trust. That's why it's so important in that third step to learn that we have to let go. You know, we heard the phrase over and over again, let go and let God. Let go and let God be in charge. Let go and let the higher power be in charge. It's so important to realize the fact that we have to be able to ask for help and ask for guidance, but to be able to realize the fact we can't do anything by ourselves. I don't know about you, but being a codependent, being in recovery, I realized over and over again, for years and years and years, I did it my way only. And by the way, the only way I do my way now is the song by Frank Sinatra. Other than that, no. But the bottom line is, I don't want to do it my way. There are many ways, many concepts, many different directions. I've been around the rooms for a long time. I've heard tons and tons of stories, and I can laugh at a lot of them. One of my favorite stories, I got to tell you a story. You don't mind me telling you a story. I remember going to a meeting in Center City, Philadelphia, and this guy told his story. He said his higher power was a policeman's billy club. I had to hear this story. You know, I love the stories. I can't help it. He had mounted on the wall in his bedroom a policeman's billy club. And every day he'd get on his knees in front of the billy club and he asked the billy club to keep him sober. And so at the end of the day, he'd come home, get on his knees and thank the billy club for keeping him sober. He was in the program a long time. So he told his story. When it wasn't his actual addiction, he had some issues with the police department. He would never leave bars when the bars closed. So they had to call the police to help him out. He didn't cooperate. After getting smacked in the head with a billy club for 3 years, he figured it out. The billy club was his higher power. Because if he picks up a drink, that club is waiting for him. It keeps him sober. I don't debate. I don't get into all these things. It works for him. That's what's important. You see, we've learned over and over again, if we ask, whatever we find, whatever works for us, that's what's important. And keep it that simple. And that's why that third step teaches us, let go. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to analyze everything. Stop trying to figure everything out in life. You can't figure life out. Life is to be lived, not figured out. Life is to be celebrated. Life is to realize the fact that, hey, we got another day. Isn't that wonderful? We're here today. We're in this room today. We're with each other today. I don't know about tomorrow. And yesterday, I found out it's over. Isn't that amazing? Somebody had told me that, by the way, because I used to always try to go back there and deal with that stuff and change it. You can't change it. See, it's history. And I'm able to face my yesterdays, learn from them, grow from them, experience them. I'm learning how to let go and realize the fact that somebody else is in charge. And do things a little bit at a time. My father used to say this all the time to me years ago back in Camden. He used to say, Wyona, vieni, Wyona. In Italian, that means little boy, just do a little bit at a time. Take it easy, relax. Where you going? You woke up this morning. Take it easy and enjoy. Enjoy the day. The sun shining, smile, take a walk. Do the little things of life and the big things will come when they're supposed to. I'll never forget that from my dad. But I learned that from people in recovery. If you do the little things each day, do my prayers, my meditation, do my readings, be open to the stories, experience it, connect with other people, talk to people, share with individuals. The little things over a period of time grow into the big things, like the mustard seed. A little bit at a time, life brings us forward. A little bit at a time, we grow. And that's the fun part about life. It's a matter of one days. It's a matter of each day. It's a matter of simplicity. Because every day when you wake up is a new day. It's the day you work for the day. Am I going to make mistakes? Will I go through some pain today? Yes. Will I go through some sorrow today? Yes. I got a message somebody today where we lost another person, somebody that I've known for years. But again, there's a beginning and there's an ending. I say a prayer. That's all I can do. I was able to pick up something today from one of our counselors who just died. It's a memorial stone we're gonna place tomorrow, and I love it. But I mean, the concept is I miss him. C.P. Marachi. He was my buddy from South Philadelphia. But I know he's still here. His spirit is here. His energy is here. It's all connected to one another. We're all part of each other. That's what's so beautiful about this program and how it works. So those first 3 steps are so powerful. They actually give us the roots and the foundations for our growth. I have to learn acceptance is such a gift. Faith and belief. Have a sense of faith in recovery. Have a sense of faith in the recovery program. Have a sense of faith in one another. Be open to new things and new directions. I mean, I joke about this a lot, but I used to at one time have a thing called a flip phone. And I know what I was doing. And thank God for my wife and my granddaughter, I was able to start the process of moving in a new direction. Now, today, I accomplished something today. Loretta, I work with Loretta, and guess what? I now have my own computer at the office. And I learned how to work it today. I'm so excited. It's something new, another adventure, another direction. And I got it right. I did it. I logged in. I did all that kind of wonderful stuff. And Loretta even patted me on the head. It was fantastic. I did a good job. What can I tell you? It was worth the pat. But the beautiful part about it is, I was able to do something new. And every time I experience another way of life, another concept, another direction, and I know you're going to go through struggle, you're going to go through pain, and we don't know where the future is going to go. I'm not interested in where it's going to go. I know that today I'm connected. Today I'm connected to recovery. Today I'm with a recovery family. I'm with many other families. I'm connected. And I have all these wonderful people in my life. Do some of them disappoint me? Yeah. But you know what? That's okay too. You got to be disappointed. I wish that some things would happen in different directions, but they don't. When they're ready to, they will. So I got to be able to go back to the 3rd step. I have to let go and let God. Father Martin, who was a great mentor of mine, God rest his soul, used to always say in his lectures, he would say those famous words, I can't, he can, I'm going to let him. Never forget that phrase. Well, in Chalk Talk and the big, great talks that he gave, we connected with all these beautiful things in life and recovery. And I realized over and over again, all these great, wonderful teachers, each one of us, we're part of one another, we're connected. And that's why I get excited when I look at the screen, when I look at the people I meet every day, the people that come into my life, the people that are connected. I got to see somebody today I haven't seen for a long time. I got to get a hug. That was fantastic. It really was. It was nice to be around people today and share with people. Doors are starting to open up again. People are coming around. I'm getting to see people I haven't seen for a while physically, but it's neat. And yet, a little bit at a time, we got to do that too. Even the opening up, we have to open up a little bit at a time. Take your time. Because what gets us in trouble? We're addicts. What gets us in trouble? I got to do it right away. I want it now. Take it easy. Better be in and relax. Do a little bit more. Learn something new, discover something new, experience something new. Listen to some of the great teachers. And you know what I'm learning? I'm learning from the young people. The young people. We have some young counselors now, and I love them. I've came through a lot with them, but they're teaching me so many beautiful things. They're teaching me new ways of doing things and new directions. You got to be open to that. And yet it's hard because you're used to the old, you're used to the things that you did for a long period of time. You got to be open to new. I mean, Loretta and Ellen come up with newfangled things every day. And I look at them and say, all right, what the heck? We'll give it a try, see what happens, and we got to keep trying. What can I tell you? That's what it's all about, isn't it? And so remember that phrase, come to believe, make a decision to let go of control, come to believe in a power greater than ourselves, come to believe that we're being led, we're being guided, we're being taken in a positive direction. That's why I want to emphasize those first 3 steps of the program, because without the foundation of a higher power, without the foundation of a higher presence, without the foundation of being able to come to an acceptance of the reality of who we are, then it's hard for us to be able to do the other steps in the program, because now we come to the meat and potatoes of the program. Steps 4 through 9, the working steps, I call them. You got to do your work. And you got to do your work, but you got to do it with faith, with belief. You got to do it with acceptance. You got to do it with realizing the fact that you're just on a journey of discovery. We'll talk about the 4th and 5th step next week. And the 4th step says, make a fearless moral inventory. Remember, it says fearless. It means to do these things in a positive way. Everything's got to be done positively. One of my favorite books is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Beautiful book. And yet, everything in life works good if you face it with a positive attitude. And to me, we need to develop in our life every day an attitude of gratitude, an attitude of humility, an attitude of acceptance, an attitude of love. We work on our own attitude and face things with these beautiful concepts and be able to work through them. Then we're able to grow and discover who we are as a person. Because every one of us is one of God's creation. We're not accidents, we're not mistakes. We're exactly who we are supposed to be. We're exactly where we are supposed to be on our journey today. And don't try to be anybody else. And don't look at somebody else and say, I wish I was like her, I wish I was like him. No, be you. Be within your own journey. Each one of us has the power inside of ourselves, the power of something more powerful than us that makes us who we are. It's our spirit, it's our energy. That energy has to be able to go out to others and be connected to others, be shared with others. That's what's so beautiful and so special about it. I look around this room, I look around all the rooms of people I've met over the years, and I realize each one has such a beautiful spirit. Some of them a little crazy, a little ornery, a little nutty. That's okay. We're all a little crazy, a little ornery, a little nutty every day, right? Come on. We all got our little idiosyncrasies, our little crazy things that we do. Sometimes we make funny noises. What the hell can I tell you? But it's all part of life. It's so great to be human, isn't it? Just to be a human being. And that's what healing really is all about. It's part of our humanity. We got to learn from that. So don't be so hard on yourself and don't overjudge yourself. Just take your time, and don't try to do too much. I really have to say that for all of us wonderful codependents, the card-carrying codependents. We always try to figure everything out. You stop trying to figure it out and just go enjoy and live. You're not going to figure life out. Life is to be lived, not to be figured out. I told you the story. I told it before so many times, about my buddy Iggy from the Philadelphia Bulletin years ago, a little comic strip. He used to always look for the answers to everything. He made himself nuts. He would go to the ancient gurus and they would tell him the same thing. Just go live your life. Get out of here. Go live your life. I'm always looking for magical answers to everything. There is no magical answer. Remember a lady one day came up to me and she said, I found the secret to my recovery. I said, what? Come here, she said. Well, I found this program. I'm going to go there for 6 days. They're going to intensify work on me for 6 days and get through all my stuff and get everything settled. I said, how much is this program? She said, oh, it's about $2,200. I said, come here. Do yourself a favor. Go on a cruise. Go have some fun. Relax. You're not going to solve everything, find everything out about your life in 5 days, 6 days. Come on. Life's a journey. It's an ongoing journey. It's an ongoing adventure. And yeah, we're going to fall down once in a while. You got to fall down to get up. My father used to say, you'll never know what it is to get up until you fall down. Don't be afraid to fall down. As a senior citizen, I get more careful about falling down, but when you fall down, you learn to get back up again. It's totally amazing. You know, I used to walk real brisk. Now I look for the cracks and I'll make sure I don't trip and fall. But then things change after a while. What can I tell you? As you get older, you look at things differently. You know, you get more tired at the end of the day. But that's okay too. So I realized that's what life is supposed to be. Remember those beautiful things: honesty, humility, humor, healing, honesty, openness, and willingness. Remember the gift of trust. Trust that you'll be guided, trust that you'll be led. Just try to be open to the journey. So as I share a prayer tonight, I pray for all of us. I pray for those who have gone before us. And I ask our higher power to guide us and be with us on the journey as we take it together. Let us pray. We come together, oh God, whatever we choose to call our higher power. We ask for guidance. We ask for direction. We ask you might help us and teach us as we walk the journey of life. As we ask for your help and your guidance, you send messengers and teachers into our life. Help us to be open to them, to learn from them. Teach us to be open to change and new things and new directions. Teach us to feel our feelings, to be in touch with our losses, to feel our sadness, but to feel our joy too. Know that life is a mixture of so many beautiful things. Yet we have to have a combination of sadness and joy in life. Teach us to be open. Teach us to learn. But know that we'll have faith and trust in you. For you are our guide, you are our strength. We pray in a very special way for all those who have gone before us as we look upon the lecture hall and see the memorial wall of all the names of people that have been part of our journey. Some very special, beautiful names on that wall. We never forget them, for they are part of our family. We're all interconnected. We're all part of each other. We're all part of one another. Thank you, God, for the teachers of the past, especially for the teachers of the future, but above all, for the things we are learning today, this day. We pray and we ask this each and every day. We ask for your guidance and your direction. We pray that we may do it with a spirit of gratitude, humility, and love. And do this. We ask this of our higher power every day in your name. Amen. And I'm going to ask, if you don't mind, unmuting yourself, and we're going to close out today by saying the we version of the Serenity Prayer.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God's will, not mine, be done.